Hello there, Talkin Fight fans. Welcome once again to another episode of The Scoop with the champ, Bola Ray, on his ongoing exploration of the Fab Four,
How you
and
doing?
not the Beatles either.
Not the Beatles either. Today, we're going to talk about an incredibly special freak of nature. To continue on with my segment with the Fab Four, this guy was arguably the greatest lightweight of all time. No, sorry, not lightweight, junior welterweight of all time. My name is Bola Ray, and this is The Scoop. Born October 18th, 1958, Tommy Hearns was the third of 9 kids that was raised by one mother. Let's just take a second to give her a clap. Wow. Being a champion just ran in his family. They grew up in Grand Junction, Tennessee. At age 5, the family moved to Detroit, Michigan. Now, there's very little record of his amateur career, or more importantly, record of him representing the country internationally. But he did win the 1977 Golden Glove Championships, National Golden Glove Championships, in the junior welterweight division. He turned pro under the tutelage of the legendary coach, Emanuel Stewart, that very same year. Now, his pro career started off nothing shy of blazing. 17 fights, 17 wins, 17 knockouts. Like, Emanuel Stewart turned this wiry 6'1", light hitting but super fast footed amateur to arguably one of the greatest punchers of all time in any weight class. On his 29th fight, he faced off against Pepino Cuavez for Pepino's WBA junior welterweight title, of which he held for 4 years and defended 11 times with 10 knockouts. So Pepino was amazing in his own right. Tommy knocked him out because that's what Tommy does. He knocked him out in the second round. Positively, like, he was beyond dominant. Like I said, in 11 fights, he had 11 wins with 10 knockouts. And then he went up against the absolute freak of nature and crumbled like a house of cards. He went on to defend his title 3 more times, and in Tommy fashion, he knocked them all out. And, well, this was the prelude to the big dance. And that's when he ran into Sugar Ray Leonard. This fight was for the welterweight supremacy. All the marbles. I'm going to discuss this fight on a future show next week, and we'll see. For the record, Tommy lost that fight via 14th round stoppage. An amazing fight all the same. Now, 3 fights later, he gets the opportunity to fight Wilford Benitez for the WBC light middleweight strap. So he had the welterweight onto the light middleweight strap. This fight was nothing shy of amazing. Tommy made Wilford Benitez look ordinary. Benitez was easily one of the greats of the era. He was right there with the Fab Four, except he never went up against Marvin. But he did get a 15-round win over Duran. Now, how many people can actually put that on their resume, especially on that day? But period. He was a sensational fighter. And yeah, Tommy does what Tommy does. Tommy made him look ordinary. Outboxed the hell out of him. The name of the game in this contest was Tommy's reach and how he would use his footwork in combination with his reach. Seminars, literal seminars, could be done using this fight as Exhibit A. Benitez never found an answer to this combination. Round 4 was the first time a round went to Benitez. And that was due to a late in the round, the ref deducting a point from Tommy because he was holding and hitting. Tommy evened the score the very next round by knocking Benitez down. And then in the 6th round, he ended up beating him like he stole something. He almost ended the fight in the 6th round. I can't stress enough, this is Wilford Benitez. This doesn't happen, okay? The boxing lesson continued for the next few rounds, and in the 9th round, Benitez grazed Tommy with a shot high up on his head top. But the thing is, it was a grazing shot as Tommy was taking a step back. He was off balance and stumbles backwards, falls into the ropes. It's counted a knockdown. I don't know if Tommy was tired or what the scenario was, but the following round, Tommy changed his strategy and he stood there and he wanted to exchange. And that he did. It was exceptionally entertaining for people watching the fight, but it really wasn't necessary in my eyes because he already had the blueprint to win this fight easy. Why take any punishment? I wasn't sure whether or not his legs were tired and he just wanted to, he thought he could take him out. But like I said, it was exceptionally entertaining round. A lot of leather was thrown, but the fight went on. The last 2 rounds, Tommy went back to his original strategy, and he danced. He stuck that piston jab out on him and punished him, and he got the win against a future Hall of Famer. 18 months later, Tommy is staring across the ring at none other than Roberto Duran, who was defending his WBC light middleweight strap. Okay? Light middleweight strap. I will discuss this fight in detail on a future show, but for the record, Tommy won by 2nd round knockout of Roberto Duran. It was the first time he had ever been knocked out. So, yeah. This was a precursor for another title fight labeled The War. 2 fights later. The fight was between Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns. Many, I included, deemed this as the greatest 3 rounds of boxing in boxing history. I will discuss this fight in detail next week. Look out for that. Look out for that. Post this fight, Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler fight April 6th, 1987. Leonard then vacates the WBC middleweight title. And on November 29th, 1987, Tommy Hearns fought Juan Domingo Rodin for the title and won yet another world title and yet another weight class. It's just what Tommy does. The following June 6th, Tommy had his first title defense of the middleweight strap against one Iran Barkley. Wow. Now, what a fight. From the opening round, Tommy showed complete and utter boxing supremacy. He was stinging him, but outboxing him, but Iran was not fazed by it per se. He wasn't afraid. He kept the pressure on him, eating punches, losing the round, but still game. A lot of leather was thrown. The same thing repeats itself in round two, another Tommy round, both rounds to Tommy. But then the third starts, and Tommy is going ripping vicious body shots in amongst different combinations. Barkley looked like he was on his way out. He could be finished. And then, out of nowhere, Iran threw a right hand and caught Tommy. And Tommy's on the canvas. Where this came from? One shot? No idea. Iran was almost completely out. Tommy barely makes the count. Iran jumps him, finishes him in the third round. It has to be seen as one of the greatest comeback fights of history. He was taking a shellacking. Now, in typical Tommy Hearns fashion, his next fight is almost 5 months later, to the day, November 4th, 1988, and he's up against James Kitchens. But he goes up another weight class and wins the vacant WBO super middleweight title. His fourth title in 4 weight classes. His next fight is the long-awaited rematch against Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, I did a show on this fight as one of boxing's greatest robberies. You could check that out. But in essence, it was called a draw. Some which way, shape, or form, those 3 blind mice called it a draw. It was absurd. Even the one that gave the fight to Tommy made it so much closer than it ever was. Tommy knocked him down twice, 2 10-8 rounds, and then put a clinic upon him. It was absurd. Years later, Ray actually even admitted Tommy won that fight. I suggest, again, go into the archives and you'll find it. My show on that. But Tommy goes on. They both had titles. They both retained their titles. They went their separate ways. Tommy goes on to defend his WBO title 3 more times. And then, well, Tommy the Hitman does what Tommy the Hitman does. June 3rd, 1991, he totally outclasses Virgil Hill for the WBA light heavyweight strap. Now, this is the 5th world title in 5 weight classes that this man has gotten. Okay? And the story isn't over yet. 9 months later, on March 20th, 1992, he enters the ring against another against, well, Iran Barkley yet again. Now, in this contest, it was a completely, well, not completely, but it was a different Barkley. Barkley felt that he had Tommy's number. He pressured Tommy. Tommy, he didn't box as much. Like, there wasn't the footwork that was present when he fought Benitez. He stood and tried to exchange, but Tommy just wasn't, he wasn't strong enough to intimidate Barkley. Barkley was a juggernaut, and he came for him. He even knocked him down one, but that, at the end of the day, later on in the fight, Barkley started to fade a lot, and the fight was a close one, but it went to it went to Iran Barkley in a decision. So be it. April 10th, 1999, Tommy steps into the ring against one Nate Miller for the vacant International Boxing Organization Cruiserweight title and won his 6th title in 6 weight classes. There's nothing this guy couldn't do. But mind you, this reign was short-lived. 1 year, almost to the day, April 8th, 2000, Tommy rolled his ankle in the 2nd round and lost the title to one Iran Grant. Tommy went on to fight 2 more fights, which he won by knockout, and then he retired. That's Tommy Hearns. What a career. What an absolute champion. He is one of my all-time favorites. I've studied him so many times. That piston jab is still legendary in any weight class. I still believe that if he had stayed his natural 140, who would have beaten him? 140 pounds, 6'1", with a reach of 6'6". Who would have touched him? And that disgusting right hand. He was the original Deontay Wilder with that right hand. So, with that being said, that's my episode. If you like this episode, please smash the like button, subscribe, tickle the notification. It's your boy Bola, and that's the scoop.
Thanks very much. That's an amazing story. And although he wasn't born in Detroit, he certainly is known to have been raised in Detroit and come from Detroit. And Detroit has given us many great things over the years, including very famous football teams, baseball teams, hockey teams. It's known for its Joe Louis Arena, named after Joe Louis, of course. But often, we also think of Tommy Hitman Hearns. I mean, this guy was amazing.
Tommy the Hitman Hearns. He came out of the Kronk Gym, one of the originals from Kronk Gym. What made Kronk, arguably one of the most famous and renowned training centers in the world. It's also, Tommy is a testament to how great Emanuel Stewart genuinely was. Any coach can go off and take a puncher and make him punch. He already knows how to punch. Or you take someone light-footed, fast, and teach him how to run. But it takes a special coach who can cultivate, who can educate somebody who is naturally one way and flip the script and make him something completely different. Future shows on Emanuel Stewart also. Looking forward to it.
I thought you were going to say future shows on magicians. Well, thanks very much, Ray. That was an amazing episode once again.
Cheers.
We have one more this week coming up tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
and we'll see you then.
All right. Cheers.